I've just recorded one film in Polish about the Alexander technique, and now I have to completely rewire my brain and talk in a different language, but I will endeavor, I know that word, I hopefully pronounce it okay, to say a similar thing and similar things in English about the Alexander technique. And that first short film is about what is the Alexander technique, and I thought I would just start with an example from a practical life. So let's imagine that you want to have a chat with someone about something difficult, and you know that you'll have to say difficult things. And when you think about it, you say, okay, I'll remain calm and I'll be controlling myself, and all that kind of stuff that people do try to think before having a talk like that. And then when you actually have that talk, then you lose your control and the emotions are soaring, and then you think, gosh, I tried so hard and it didn't happen the way I wanted. And you see, that's the point when you could have used the Alexander technique, because the Alexander technique gives you a set of skills that allow you to stop and think and consider the way you want to react before you react. And I know it still sounds a bit vague, so I'll give you another example. Let's say that you work a lot of on laptop or on a computer or in the office. So you have a kind of a sedentary work life, and you've got a problem with a back pain. And you may sometimes think, oh, I have to do something about it, and from the next day I will change. I'll change, and everything will be fine. Or you may even go and see the doctor about it, and they tell you what the right posture is and all that kind of stuff. And then the next morning comes and you kind of try it a little bit, but not really, and then you just forget about it because you've got lots of important emails, or well, they actually may be quite important. I did quote a quote because they're not more important than your body, but I'll explain that later. So you've got lots of emails and you forgot about how you sit, and it's exactly the same as it was before. So again, with the Alexander technique, you can learn how to actually stop and take care of yourself, and learn about your body, learn about the way how you can have a balance in your body that you will feel comfortable with, and it will be good for your body, and then start working. And not just that, but as you work, you can continue thinking about and being aware of your body and the signs it gives you, the tiredness of getting slumped and all that kind of stuff. And then sometimes you may even see, okay, I just came back to my normal slouch, and then there is this skill of actually really stopping and thinking, okay, I'm changing. I don't want to sit like that. And I know it sounds very simple and easy, but just answer yourself that question: how much do you stop when you know that you should have stopped? How much do you really stop? So Alexander technique, that skill that gives you that power of stopping and really considering the most important things, which is your well-being, your state of mind before you do something. And let me give you another third example. So we talked about a difficult situation. So we talked about some emotions, and we talked about the working, so the back pain. So I know the last example I would like to give you is the example of a musician who's got a stage fright. So I am a musician, I know what I'm talking about. So perhaps if you're a musician, lots of your teachers would tell you just have to practice, you just have to have lots of concerts. And for many of us, unfortunately, it doesn't work. And I know that from my experience. And, if I ask you, so what's happening when you go onto the stage and you say, okay, so I'm sweating and my heart is beating very fast and my hands are trembling and I'm stiff and, whatever. So you can tell me more or less the signs that your body gives you, but how many of you actually went deeper into that problem and really stopped, and asked themselves a question, why it's happening? So what are my thoughts that create that state of body and why my body reacts in this way, because it doesn't start at the beginning when you start playing the concert. It starts when you actually start learning the instrument, when you start practicing a certain piece. You can already, if you stop, then you can notice where are the tensions, what is the voice in your head saying, no, this is going to be difficult, I have to make a lot of effort or whatever. And if you take that skill of Alexander's technique into that, it will give you a tool to, just sort it out, really. I would say just really understand what the problem is. So I would like to finish with the quote from Viktor Frankl, who was a prisoner in one of the concentration camps. And he said something roughly like this: between each stimulus and reaction, there is a pause, and in that pause, you can choose. And I'm sure all of us would agree with me that, his situation was possibly one of the worst situation you could be in life. And what is the freedom in that? You are a prisoner, you have hardly anything to eat, and each day you don't even know whether you will survive that day. But somehow he found that he's got a power to find the freedom inside him, despite of the situation that was around him, and despite of the fact that he was possibly forced to work, and he couldn't choose the things he was doing, but he could choose the attitude. He could choose the attitude of his mind, so he could build in some certain way that freedom in his mind. And I really do believe that the Alexander technique can give you that, can give you the skill to build that freedom, to stop, to understand yourself, and to change, to have a better and easier life. And I would like to finish this film with that, but the next time I would like to tell you about why I started studying the Alexander technique, and maybe how the Alexander technique influenced my life, and why I now spend time in front of the camera talking to all of you about it. So thank you very much, and see you next time.